humble because this life will humble you. Life is not a rehearsal. You don't get away with doing things and expect that life won't come back and give you a moment of hush it. Remember, we have one finger pointing. We have three that point back at us. Our constant reminder that in the same way we look at the flaws of others, ours is around the corner. We live in times where people have been held high because of impunity, because of corruption, because they can say things that are not right, but because no one can hold them because of their money or power or fame or whatever it is, people get away with it. And so we see a situation whereby many people are being brought down because of their big ego, brought down because of their association. You see, life will humble you in many interesting ways. That high horse that you are in, the same horse that you enjoy riding, one day can decide it doesn't want you as a rider. It doesn't matter how many times you fed it. One day it can decide not in the mood. Or one day it could decide it doesn't want to be ridden on. It sees another horse it likes and it just wants to have no one on top. You know what it can do? It can throw you. It throws you down. Remember, this is your favorite horse. Once you're on the ground, you could have a concussion. You could end up with a spinal cord injury, a broken limb, whether major or a minor injury. It could lead to surgeries. It could lead to you being medically incapable of doing many things. Remember, it was a horse you won champions with. Remember, it's a horse that anytime you walked, everybody bowed down. That car you're driving can decide that you're not going to reach your final destination. It could be the final destination. And you could end up with broken limbs. You could end up in debt that wasn't there. Let's say your car knocks out a very luxurious car. What ends up happening? That person, the insurance will require of you to pay in big bulk. Will you be able to pay it? That relationship that you adore so much, that has become like you're walking on air, can end in a blink of an eye. Whether we are talking about it turning into DV from the honeymoon stage, whether it is tension, it will move to the tension, whether it will move to explosion, or whether finally to move to reconciliation, the whole DV process that many people go through. The fact of the matter is, anything can go sideways in a blink of an eye. That school that you go to, university, fees can, all of a sudden you don't have the fees to pay. Or there could be a political instability in the country and now education is cut off. That beautiful home that you have and that you wake up every day and see and take all those beautiful photos and you're always bragging, look at my house, look at this. A plane can fall over it. Electricity surge can lead to an electrical explosion, burning up your house. Someone may be burning something and your house gets caught up in it. Or it can also be inhabitable. Everything we have can disappear in a blink of an eye. As much as we are looking at today and saying, oh, tomorrow I'm waking up, you have no guarantee. You cannot tell your eyes to wake up. You can't tell every part of your organ. It's by God's grace that everybody functions. It's by God's grace that you can be able to think and reason, even challenge. But people don't want to believe all that because you think you can, but you can't. You can be all this well-presented individual and you have this flu. A mucus is always coming out, no matter how much medication you're taking. You know, those people will see, they won't see your well-articulated words. They'll be like, okay, you need help. All of a sudden, you're not so important into the room. You need to be, let's that word, put on lockdown. It's just a flu. We are whether you find yourself bragging because you have the money and you can move and do things, you'll be ashamed. Like a Kiss Cam concert that's able to pick up two heads of a company, whatever their situation is, everybody, was on their case. And whatever the story is, the fact is, whatever you do in the dark will be brought to light, and the exposure level will be one of a kind. Whatever we have today can disappear. So learn to be humble because you just don't know. There are people who work in companies, NGOs, governments, name them. They earn good money. So they can take loans that can fit the level they are in. One day they're told, you are replaceable. Whether it's AI related, whether it is restructuring, whether it's a case, or whatever it may be, you know what happens? Now you have to repay that loan. And maybe someone was telling you, build a home, build a house, build something, do a little business, start something. To tell them, I don't need those things for poor people. Ooh, now the poor one. I recall in campus, there in campus, one thing that was very interesting is many people lived above their means. I remember I reached a point I even asked myself, how poor am I poor? I remember I used to have this particular Nokia phone. The keypad would expand, or that's the word. Yeah, would expand. It's like he's having a belly, and then the numbers would disappear. And everyone in the room, campus, most of them had touch screens. They had good phones. And at some point, I was thinking, am I this poor? Only to learn that some of them were taking high institution loans. So here we'll call them HELP or tertiary loans. Instead of using those loans for the education, they used it to live a large life. And I never understood the whole gist, because I used to tell them, you don't need what you don't have. But you'll be told, you poor person, go stick with your poverty. So anyway, kept doing my thing. I've met most of them, and their stories are very sad. Remember the money they used to brag around? They now can't even pay, because every place they turn, regret is knocking at their door. I remember there was a lady in campus. She was very beautiful. And I remember I was doing an assignment, a group assignment, and I remember when she was opening her purse. There was an assignment we did, a project, and I done. And then she was like, oh, you're the one who's helping us, take this money. And I remember it was clean notes, like clean from the bank. And the way I was given like this, like, take this thing. You poor person. Years later, I was living in a place, I would call it low income, because it's a mix of a ghetto and a slum. And when I was there, I'm going to work. Guess who I meet? The rich chick. She's bowing her head, and I could look at her. I was like, I know her. But I was like, maybe I'm seeing my own things. Then I said, maybe the same time I passed here, I will see her. And I did see her. She wasn't the rich chick. Now me, the poor person, I was going somewhere. When I was looking at her, she was a broken lady. The thing is, you don't know today, you don't know tomorrow. You don't know this second. Nothing is guaranteed. Your health is not guaranteed. Your family is not guaranteed. I recall my mom back in primary, the guys in our class, they were living the life. And I remember some of them, it was in the 2000, somewhere, 2000, 2001. We had what we call here the matatu culture, or Ganya culture, or for those who don't understand, is our transport vehicles, 14-seater transport. We would pimp them up, and artistically, it's part of the culture, and had loud music. So most of the guys who owned them, I studied with them within the route we used to stay, and they were the rich of the rich. And I'm telling you, I was bullied till kingdom come, kicked. There's no word I was never told. And I used to tell them, that's your parents' money. There's nothing I was never told. Years later, life has a way to humble people. I met some of those bullies in campus. I was studying in a particular room. I see this guy. I'm like, I know this guy. But that guy, when he approached me, he was so humble, and I was scared of him because he beat me up back in primary. So I was scared of the guy, and he was still taller than me, and I'm a short guy. And I looked at him, but he was humble. He was talking to me saying, hi, how you doing? I'm like, he even says hi, because life can humble you. Life is not a rehearsal. Whatever you have today can disappear. Know how to live with people. Respect everyone around you. Because whatever you think you know, you don't know. Things change. Governments change. Natural weather brings a lot of change. From anything, it can happen. Be humble. Know how to live with people. Be careful with your words, because your own words could be the weapon formed and forged against you. Be very careful. Be humble, or life will humble you.